I really feel like the Atlanta Dream are just one piece away from fully cracking the top 3 in a power rankings. I just can't decide if that piece is on their bench or in a trade package. Because the Atlanta Dream are really good on paper. And I say really good on purpose because even on paper, I don't think they're great. There's still something off, like trying to get the furniture just right. Which is why on one hand, I can recognize that Brianna Jones is still on the bench. And while that comfortably moves everyone back into their position, they're not necessarily playing out of position right now all that much. Having Sika Kone, having Medina Okot, they have 5s in that position. So my first thought is they get back Brianna Jones, then maybe they look a little better. And then I also remember they have Aaliyah Nye on the bench. She's missed a couple of games, but a sharpshooter that can keep the floor spread, because while a majority of this team can hit threes, the only true threats are Ryan Howard and Alicia Gray, who for the most part have found their roles on the team. And it leads me right into Jordan Canada and how, again, on paper, she's a really good point guard for this team, but is she the best option for whatever they want to do moving forward? And this is not a knock on Jordan Canada. She's obviously a baller. We've seen her in Athletes Unlimited. We've seen her in Unrivaled. She's represented the national team. 2-time WNBA champion, 2-time steals leader. And when she did play in the WNBL, she was an MVP. So we know she can ball. But I think my biggest thing watching her play with this team is the score first mentality. Because it's not necessarily a bad thing, but when you're looking at this team, you want Ryan Howard and Alicia Gray activated as early as possible. You want them to be threats to the other team as soon as possible. So even if you are a score first point guard, now your opportunity presents itself off the drive. A nice midi, a perfect pick and roll. And I just don't get that from Jordan Canada. And when I think about Alicia Gray, I guess being the shooting guard, it's not a lot of facilitation going on there. So I feel like the Atlanta Dream are just missing a lot at the guard position. Things they're just not getting out of the combination of Jordan Canada, Alicia Gray, and I guess sometimes Angel Reese running the offense. I just feel like that's a pretty big hurdle to overcome, not just in a regular season game, but hell, Commissioner Cup games. Obviously the playoffs. I mean, you want to thank Chelsea Gray, but everyone can't be Chelsea Gray. But they need a guard who can put their offense in order. Angel Reese has become the anchor for their defense. Ryan Howard can pick up their best player on the wing. Alicia Gray can run around with the shooting guard. I actually think they have a lot more success or progress or togetherness on defense. It's offense that just looks wonky all the time. And it's less of a criticism on Jordan Canada and more of a observation of what their offense is supposed to be. Because even when Jordan Canada penetrates the paint, that's supposed to start the swing action and find somebody open. But more often than not, she's stuck too far down on the block, too many hands come in to deflect the pass, or honestly, she just misses an acrobatic layup. And the Dream are back on defense. And again, I'm not knocking Jordan Canada. On paper, everything looks really, really good. She's averaging 7 assists, almost 12 points. That looks really good, but not so great in the win-loss column. They've lost their last 3 games, and I would argue the 4 they did win in a row were games they were supposed to win. They still lost against the Liberty. They lost a game against the Portland Fire, and it's kind of hard to pinpoint. I mean, Jordan Canada had 23 points in a game against the Golden State Valkyries, but they lost that game. She only had 2 assists, but they also lost when she had 8 points and 10 assists. So the combination still isn't there. And I'm not putting it all on Jordan Canada, obviously. I'm just saying that's where it's starting most of these nights. When she has double-digit assists, they're usually winning the game, no matter how many points she has. And obviously, assists mean your teammate has to make the bucket, but it's also your job to put them in a position to where that bucket is as easy as possible. I don't know. I'm really not trying to blame Jordan Canada. It's like when I look at this team, though, she just looks like the only piece that may be out of place, or if altered a little bit, everyone else can fit properly. And maybe that alteration isn't at the point guard. Maybe it's moving the players around their positions. Again, getting Brianna Jones back. Maybe Aaliyah Nye can help on the perimeter. That's another thing with Jordan Canada. Her 3 ball. I feel like if she increased her percentage on the 3-point shot, that would fix a lot too. But it reminds me of like the Isaiah Thomas conundrum. Like, she's not short, but her scoring is at the basket. So maybe if she was able to pull them out to the 3-point line, keep the floor stretched, it might help. But I don't know. I think that's why why I'm so focused on Jordan Canada, because a lot of things can be changed right there at that position while leaving Alicia Gray, Ryan Howard, and Angel Reese right where they are. So I don't know. I mean, I don't think they'll trade her at least this season. I do think they finish out the season and just see how this team does, but they're not there yet. It's still one tweak, one piece, one slight alteration on the floor, and man, this team is dangerous. And honestly, Atlanta needs to figure it out sooner than later, because this is the beginning of Ryan Howard's prime, Alicia Gray's prime. You got another year or so on Angel Reese, but I really hope they're back there considering what changes might help this team make some leaps in becoming contenders. I really like the Atlanta Dream, specifically because I like the players. I'm a fan of Ryan Howard, Alicia Gray, Angel Reese, Jordan Canada, especially after Unrivaled. We had a zoomed in version on really a lot of the Dream, and I think Tahina Paopao went to Athletes Unlimited, so even in the offseason, we got a good dose of these players. But when you go down the roster list and someone like Ryan Howard is ultimately doing her job, she's already had a 36-point game this season, but you can also look at her points and see how they fluctuate. 8 points, 19, 24, 27. She's obviously capable of a lot, and I'm not putting all of this on Jordan Canada specifically. I just think the other players are taking up some of the responsibility that's hers. Not in a bad way, like they've obviously agreed on this, but if Ryan Howard is doing more bailing out than catching and shooting, or creating off a pick and roll between the two because Canada creates a situation, I don't think we're getting the best out of her. And this is the thought process of having championship aspirations. They're obviously fine. Again, on paper, Ryan Howard is averaging 18 points a game. That's excellent. They're the first in the East. Alicia Gray is having a great season. She's averaging 18 points a game. But I just feel like a slight tweak at that point guard position would help both of them get above 20 points a game. Maybe even get a little bit more from Angel Reese. I mean, she's averaging just under 15. There's a reason the Atlanta Dream are closer to the top at a lot of power rankings, but even in the games that they were winning, there are holes. There are obvious spots in their game that the competitors can take advantage. And the right coach, a high IQ team, will have no problem with them in the playoffs. I really want to see the Atlanta Dream go far. Honestly, this would be a really cool dynasty if they could pull off some championships. But while I do question if that answer is on the bench or in a trade package, the bigger question is, what is the franchise willing to do to get that last puzzle piece perfectly in place? This one's definitely a head scratcher for me, so I don't know. I could be completely wrong. Do you think the Atlanta Dream are fine? Do you think they need to trade? Do you think Jordan Canada is the perfect point guard? Or am I just overreacting and they just need a few years of chemistry?
Don't forget to like and subscribe, players.